Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Brand Talk. My name is Jeanette, and I am joined by today from David from Core.
Yes,
David, how are you?
good. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Definitely.
I am excited to continue the conversation we were having sort of in there about your journey of owning a gym.
Yes.
And I want to share that with our audience in case anyone is looking to follow your path or someone is trying to understand what running a gym looks like, um, or simply want to hear your story to continue supporting you. We want to give them all of that.
Okay.
So let's get started. What would you like to share?
I guess we can start from the beginning.
Let's do it. What's the beginning?
So the beginning is I always loved athletics and sports. I've always wanted to. I've always felt like whatever I was going to do was going to be associated with that. Didn't know I was going to be running a gym, to be honest. But I played sports throughout all the way up to high school, and then when I stopped playing, I kind of started losing myself a little bit, right? And school was out, done with school. I was around 18 years old, and I really let myself go, right? I gained a lot of weight. Definitely wasn't myself, and was trying to find a job, but I just couldn't really seem to like any of them, right? I just didn't feel like it was for me.
You told me you've only had 3 jobs in your life.
Yeah, so I worked at my first job was at Express Fashion.
And you were
And
17, 18.
and I don't think I was fashionable enough, so I was working in the stock room, right? So I was working in the stock room, just loading boxes, taking the clothes out, putting them where they're supposed to go, racking them and all that. So that's where I started. That was my first job, and I was working there full time, 9 to 6. And then my father, he worked at UPS for probably half his life, and he got me into working at UPS.
And this was how long ago when you started working at Express? What year was that?
Oh man, like 2007, 2007.
Great. So we're talking, okay, from 2007 is when your journey started.
Yeah, somehow it's gonna lead to how I ended up becoming into fitness.
Fast forward to 2026. Okay, great. I love to hear that.
Yeah,
So 17, we're 18 in 2007,
yeah,
and you get your first job, which is Express,
yeah.
and you're stocking in the back. You're not even,
No, yeah, stocking and taking the clothes out, receiving shipments and, working on all of that. And that's what that led to. And at the same time, I got a job at UPS, and I was working both of them. So 9 to 6, I was working at Express. 1 a.m. to about 5 to 6 a.m. I was working at UPS.
so you're working from 9 to 6, and then you have like 5 hours
To eat dinner and go to sleep.
to do whatever you need to do.
I guess somehow, some way that kind of did, looking back, and I guess it does kind of relates to now because it kind of was teaching me hard work and discipline, even whether I didn't like them, right? Whether that wasn't not, yeah, I'm not gonna say didn't like them, it just wasn't for me. But I guess somehow does relate to now because I taught myself that responsibility at 18, 19 years old to, okay, I have to do this and do that, right? Um, but yeah, that I was working both of them for it wasn't a long time though. It was about 3 to 4 months. I tried working both of them. At UPS, you start off, you only make $100 every 2 weeks. And then union would take away half your paycheck the other 2 weeks, right? And that's kind of how that started. So but the long run of UPS was supposed to be where I was going to be at for me, right? The goal was to become a driver.
To be a driver with
Right?
benefits.
To become a driver, you're making $100,000 a year, having the family, all that, right? That was what the goal was supposed to be, right? I think that's what my dad's vision. He saw that for me, but I didn't see that for myself, right? And definitely would have been not bad to follow that, but it just wasn't for me. And I think I got very discouraged with the amount of money I was making as well. I'm like, man, like working at 1 a.m. This is only taking me home. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want this, So again, during that time, I was still letting myself go, eating very bad. I wasn't working out. I stopped playing sports, and I gained a lot of weight. And somehow, some way, I actually quit both of those jobs
Oh, wow.
without any backup plan. I'm like, I'm just gonna quit, right? Just like got lazy.
So you're still 18 because you said you're only doing this
18,
for
18, 19
months.
years old. 18, no. I did Express for a long time.
Okay.
I did Express for over a year.
Okay.
UPS, I quit that first. But then I think around 19 years old, I quit both. And I let myself go. And at that time, this is kind of where coming into fitness comes around. We had a boys trip planned and I needed some money. I had no money. And I asked my father for $100. $100 back then on a boys trip comes a long way.
That's 2008, 2008. We're in the recession.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
But for me, it was like, I just need $100. I got to just, figure out some fast food here, right? Whatever it was. Yeah, it was a weekend getaway. And my father had a pep talk, though, with me. And he says, this isn't, because he's looking at me and he's like, I don't feel good giving you this money. This doesn't make me happy. This isn't the boy I raised.
Okay.
This was the conversation he had with me before he actually gave me.
He gave you the money.
He did, but he said, I don't feel
things to you.
Yeah, he said, I don't feel good giving you this money. This isn't the boy I raised, and I want you to think about this. When you accept this money, I want you to think about this. And I just remember feeling so bad. I'm like, crap! It's like I didn't want to go on this trip anymore.
But you took the money.
Yeah, I did.
And you went.
And I went. But when I came back, this is where it kind of goes into fitness. When I came back, my brother, he wanted a gym membership so bad. And while I was gone, my father got him a gym membership. But I guess there was like this 2-for-1 deal. I don't know. However, they sold him the membership. He ended up getting me a membership as well. So when I came back from that little getaway, he says, this is a gym membership for you. I want you to go and start working out. Just like that. And made myself to the gym. I started working out. And I think his talk really got to me. So I started getting into shape. And then I asked for a job there. So I asked for a job there, and they hired me to work into the juice bar. So I started learning supplements, started learning how to make protein shakes, and I started working in the juice bar. You actually get to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
You talk to everybody, probably more than the salesmen, more than the trainers, because they come to you all the time. And I started building rapport with a lot of the members there. And I was working in the juice bar for about 6 months, and I started getting into better shape. And then I went into being a trainer, and that's how the fitness journey.
At that same place.
Yes, at that same place. So that's how the fitness journey started, though.
Were you an athlete prior to that? Like in school, were you an athlete growing up?
Yeah, I played in high school. I played football, basketball, and baseball. But my sophomore to junior year, I just stopped playing.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So then when you went to the gym in those months, do you feel like your muscle memory kind of came back? Like you kind of just went back into working?
Honestly, I really didn't know what I was doing, because this is the whole different thing when you go into the gym. When you're working out in high school, it's just different. Because it's just still structured, right? And you're working out with the basketball team or your baseball team, they kind of tell you what to follow. And this is the first time I go, okay, I gotta learn how to do things on my own. So honestly, I was trying to lose weight. My mentality is like, I just gotta be in the cardio. I just gotta do cardio for a long time, right? And that's what I was doing, right? Just eat less. That was my mentality back then until I started learning a lot more. But that is, I wouldn't say muscle memory. It was just more about what I knew my body was capable of doing.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of how it started when I started going to the gym. Yeah.
So you're at this point, you're 19 and you're working at the gym.
Yes.
You've been promoted from the juice bar to now a trainer.
Yes.
Did you go to school to be a trainer?
So back then, that gym, it was, I don't know if you remember Bally's. Bally's, that's what it was called back then. Now it's called LA Fitness. But
like LA Fitness?
Yeah.
And Bally's?
But the name of the gym was called Bally's when I first started, and then LA Fitness bought them out. But this was like a long time ago. So they had a program where they would hire trainers, and then they had their own little certification.
Oh, okay.
And you had to go through that to be a trainer. But you're not making a lot of money. You're just allowed to train people. And then you start working on your real certifications, and you start educating yourself a lot more with fitness. But when you do get hired, you have to pass their course. And then if you want to make more money and make it more into a career, then you got to go look into having different certifications.
Gotcha. And how long were you there until you started Corex?
So I was working at Bally's for 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years.
And I learned a lot. If it wasn't for that place, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I learned a lot. I learned how to put myself out there. I learned how to talk to people. I learned how to sell, obviously, train, and just not being shy to put yourself out there and to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right. And I met a lot of people. I met a lot of people that allowed me to feel confident to start my own company.
As I'm sitting here listening and learning this about you, it seems like you went from this thing to this thing to this thing to this thing to this thing. Has it been in what ways has it been a struggle for you? What'd you say?
I never really felt like I knew what I was doing, to be honest. I just went with it. I never had a plan B either. So I knew that I knew when I made up my mind of what I was going to do, like, this has to work. But the main struggle is any business owner, I tell you, it's just money, right? It's like, how can I live to see another week with continuing to do this, right? The main struggle that I had, again, was just not being so educated. I didn't, and being able to understand all of it, right? So when you get certified, the textbooks were very, very hard, right? And I had to read them over and over and over and over again until I finally understood them. So it took me a long time to actually become certified. And when you're not certified, they don't really give you fines. They don't. You're not really making any money. So I think in the beginning, that's where it becomes a struggle. Not just that, but when you first become a trainer, you have to be able to convince people to buy your services.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the hardest part, is because it's any sales position, you have to make sales. And if you don't make sales, you're not making money.
Yeah.
And you get so discouraged. So the first 6 months of me being a trainer, I had like one client. Right. And I'm like, man, but luckily I didn't have any expenses. Right. So I'm like, okay, but everyone was putting pressure on me at work, like, hey, you have to do this, we have to do this, or we're going to put you back into the juice bar, or you're going to have to do something else because, this is what you need to do. But at the same time, like, back then, for that company, it was just more about sell. It wasn't more about, hey, take care of the client, let's help the client reach their goals. It wasn't like that. So that was my mindset, like, okay, like, I guess I just have to sell, right? And I struggled at selling. I wasn't good at it. I didn't know, right? But I wasn't good at it because I didn't even know what I was trying to teach them. I'll go back to being educated.
I understand.
So that's kind of how that's how they start you. It's like, okay, you guys just want bodies to sell, but you're not teaching us fitness. I had to learn that on my own. And that was probably the hardest part.
It became so passionate about the fitness that you were like, I'm going to do my own thing. So 4 years after you started working, right? 17, 18, you started your own boot camp.
Yes.
Can we talk about what made you're like, I'm done. I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
How did you get the courage? Like, that's a hard thing to do. Like, to start something off the bat, maybe without even an example, maybe without support. How did you go through that journey? And the reason I ask is because whoever is listening to you right now, and they're like, oh, I feel like I'm in the same spot. Like, education was a struggle, or I didn't have this resource, or I didn't even know what I was supposed to ask because I didn't know anything. So you're just kind of figuring it all out on the fly. That's really intimidating. Not everyone can just figure things out on the fly.
Yeah.
Like, how is that something that's easy for you? Like, let's talk about that.
So I was really, really fortunate enough to work with really good fitness directors. That some really, really good ones, and some are, I'm like, okay, this isn't the way this is very different from my old fitness director that I had, right? So some fitness director that I had, they motivated me and they were able to push me and guide me into being the trainer that I really wanted to be, or they felt that I could be. It got to a point where now I'm like 3 to 4 years into being a trainer, and I'm not gonna say like I'm like successful, but I have a good understanding of what I'm doing. And it got to a point where that fitness instructor that we had, a lot of the trainers weren't able to really follow his lead. And the buddy of mine, he was the one that came up to me with the idea, like, hey, let's try to branch out. And he hit me up with an idea of teaching boot camps at parks, right? And that was called Anywhere Fitness.
Anywhere Fitness.
Yes.
Literally any park.
Any park, we'll train you anywhere. You know,
House.
your office, parks, you know, tracks, they don't matter. And that's how that started. And I continued to work both. So when we first, but what I did was I started letting my clients know, like, hey, I'm going to, you know, end up doing my own thing. He did the same thing with his clients. And we started just having free boot camps to get things started, you know, grand opening at parks and stuff like that. And I think I jumped the gun too quick because a lot of them signed up for those boot camps. Like, oh, wow, we really like this. This is really cool, very different. And we started seeing a lot of money right away. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to quit now because I'm really done working there. I'm ready for my next journey. And so I quit and went full force with Anywhere Fitness. And 2 months in, I'm like, oh man, I think I made a mistake because the sales stopped.
Think you it quickly at first because you just
opened it, you know? And then I'm like, oh crap, now what am I going to do? And that's where the story leads to the next thing. Like, you know, and honestly, it's just as a business owner, it's just a big puzzle. Like I just got to put pieces together, you know? And like I said, for me, there was no such thing as a plan B. I got to make this work. I always want to make this work. And somehow I did.
Somehow,
Yeah.
But you had support. You started with a partner?
Yes. So I started with a partner. He taught me a lot, to be honest. He was older than me. And, but we both were on the same page. You know, we both figured it out together. We both had a schedule and we kept to that schedule, you know, and we went our separate ways about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
When you started these boot camps, you said you were at the park.
Yes.
But parks aren't public property.
Yeah.
Well,
they are public property.
How were you able to do that?
So you're not.
Oh.
Yeah. So you're not allowed to do it. So we didn't really wait. We kind of had an idea that you can't do it, but at the same time, we didn't think it was going to be an issue. Till we felt like, hey, you know, it's going to come and shut down
people working out.
It come and shut down people working out, and that looks good for the city to see that, right? Like it's a good look for your community and to see people working out versus doing other things at parks, you know. We just didn't. We got really big. Well, when we started struggling, we struggled. Luckily for us, what helped us get busy was social media. That's where Facebook came into play. It wasn't that big yet, but it started getting really big.
So now we're talking 2012, 2014.
Like 2011, 2012.
Pre-MySpace, after MySpace.
Yes. And Facebook really helped us out, putting videos out, you know, all of that. So that's what helped us start getting busy, right? So no, honestly, you got to work, like, because I got to the point where I said, like, 2 months. I'm like, oh man, what am I going to do now? Oh, that's what I ended up doing. You got to work. You got to work, talk to people, not give up. Hundreds of messages a day, you know, and
that sounds like somebody I know.
Yeah, honestly, it's hundreds of messages. Now, honestly, it's all about being persistent. You know, it's just about being like, hey, I'm still here. You know, you're not going to forget about me even if you want to. I'm still here, right? And you have no idea when that person's just going to wake up one day and like, oh, you know, man, I need to work out. Oh, wow, I just got a text about working out. I'm going there, right? So honestly, that's probably a huge reason my success is just because I just continue to,
people,
you know, I'm a persistent person. But social media really helped out taking off to that next. What were we talking about? What was the question?
We're talking honestly about quite a little bit of things, but which I love. I love having a million conversations and the one, but I think the overarching theme is we're talking about how did you do this at the park?
Oh yes, the parks. Sorry, so the parks. Yeah, so the parks. So
you did it.
So then we ended up becoming really big, and we had classes in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m. and those were not a problem because they weren't so busy, and no one's awake at 5 or 6 a.m. Right? So, yeah. And yeah, but 7 p.m. however, 6 or 7 p.m. that's a different story. You got people playing baseball. You got the basketball courts. Everything is working. And then we tried to just get like this one corner of the park to use, and we set up our cones, and the members would bring their dumbbells and mats and all of that. And we had like a full on class going on. And the cops would come, and we always had this excuse that, hey, we're just training friends and family. We're not making money. And they're like, oh, okay, well, hey, you can't be doing this. It's an organized setting. For an organized setting, you got to go through the city, and you can't do this. And we're like, oh, okay, all right. So then we continue doing it though, and just to kind of see like, all right, where is this going to go?
At the same part?
Same part, because they wouldn't come all the time. The only reason why it would be like some parent that would probably just call, like, hey, over here. It would never be anything. It'll just be one person that has to kind of. But I understood because it's a city thing. Someone gets hurt at the park, it's not on us. It becomes a city thing because it's a public park that belongs to the city, right? So we understood. Then I go, okay, but we don't understand. We can't be doing this because if it was that easy, imagine how many people were doing it. Like, you're talking about, hey, it's free rent. There's no overhead working in a park, right? Like, but that's how we were able to build our stadiums and all that. So, anyways, we got to the point where 2014, we got really big, and getting really big to where like, all right, now the cops are really on us, which sounds crazy to say, right? Like 2 personal trainers, the cops are on them, trying to shut down.
Well, how there?
Yeah, but at the same time, we understand.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where like that was D-Day. D-Day happened. We had a big old boot camp going on. Cops came, had all the rounded up the members, like, hey, you guys gotta go. You guys can't do this again. We're gonna get citations and this and that. And that was that. So we had our backs against the wall at that point. Like, hey, you guys, we can't do this.
Yeah.
We just can't. Like, I don't know what it's gonna lead to, but we just can't. And we were put in a position like, okay, now what do we do? Like, do we just stop? Or do we go back to working at a gym again, for a corporate gym? And for me, I was like, no, like, that's not gonna happen, right? So we got lucky to find where we're at today, which was probably like the most perfect location because it wasn't big. The rent is not expensive. The overhead wasn't going to be like, all right, we're gonna put ourselves like in a position where like, oh man, we can't do this. And no, so we found it, and that's where we went from Anywhere Fitness to Core X Fitness because it was no longer Anywhere Fitness. It was like this.
You had a location.
Now we had a location. Like, hey, we're not anywhere anymore. No, we're here. So
it wasn't any park.
Yeah.
Anyone's house.
Yeah.
Anyone's garage.
Yeah. But those are good times. Those are really good times.
Was that the hardest thing that you can remember going through? Like, is that your most challenging? From getting to the what was the name of the juice place that you started working at?
Bally's.
So at LA Fitness. So now LA Fitness, you started working there at the juice bar, and then you get the opportunity to start learning to become a trainer, start getting certified to become a trainer. After 4 years or so, you leave that and you open Anywhere Fitness with your partner. You guys start doing boot camps at the park, at people's houses, people's garages. After the cops came and rounded you guys up and told you no more, you started Core X.
Yes.
Out of going through all of that, was there ever a moment where you're like, this is too hard, like, I'm not doing this? Like,
No.
What, how did you go through all of those things?
It just there was never, it was too hard. That mindset never settled with me, where this is too hard. It was more, and I hate saying that word too, like hard, like this is hard, right? For me, it's like, okay, this is challenging. How am I going to figure this out? And like I said, there was never a plan B for me. It was never a moment where I told myself, I can't do this. It was always the moments where, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Right. And I think for every entrepreneur, you go through that, right? You go through that where it's like, okay, how am I going to do this? Because that's where when you get to that point, that's where you're going to go ahead and find yourself like, am I meant to do this or am I not? Because if it's too hard for me and I decide, okay, I can't do this, well, you have no idea like what would have happened if you continued to continue trying, right? Like what business could have started, right? But that mindset never came to me. Also, I have really, really great people around me that were able to push me and support me to keep going, right? But there was never a hard, there was never a hard part. It was a challenging part, and that was in the middle of the transition from Bally's to Anywhere Fitness, and just figuring out my next sale, right? How am I going to figure out my next sale? Okay, now and it was more just putting it together. Like, okay, how many sales do I need? How many people do I have to contact? What are my percentages of conversions?
Oh,
You know?
okay. So very mathematical, very logical.
Yeah, it was just more like that, right? And like, okay, how much money do I need to make to get to the next day, right? Get to the next day, get to the next day, get to the next day. And then it was more, like, okay, well, how am I going to get people in front of me, right? Like, well, the easiest way is tell them it's free, right? Like, hey, just tell them, this is it's a free boot camp. I'll give it to you for a week free. Come try it out. Like, what are there to lose? So those are all like, again, those are all just, you know, missing pieces to the puzzle that I just had to connect to figure it out to get me to where I'm at today. And that's kind of running a business is. And all, to be honest, it never stops to this day. You're always trying to figure it out. It never, ever stops. Never. You're always trying to figure things out.
You said something that I really like and I want to zone in and expand on. You said nothing is hard.
Yeah.
You just like don't know it yet.
Yeah, nothing's hard. It's challenging. Like, how are you going to figure out this challenge?
I really like that you said that because I read somewhere something similar, and it said nothing is hard. You just don't know how to do it yet.
Yeah.
So like, it's not that I'm not smart, or it's not that I can't learn that.
Yeah.
It's like I just haven't put myself in those situations to want to learn it and to become really good at learning it. But it doesn't mean that I can't, and it doesn't mean I'm not smart.
Mhm.
That's just not what I'm focused on learning right now.
Yeah.
But if you have a passion and you want to make it happen, and that's something that you need to learn to make it happen, like you learn it by trial and error.
Trial and error. For me, that was my whole thing. It's like, I'm not really a smart person, so I don't know the answer to this question. So the only way to get my answer is just to figure it out. And I've always been a risk taker. Like, well, since I started business, I've always been a risk taker. And sometimes they probably weren't the best decisions, but I made actually a lot of right decisions that led me to where I am at today. But I've never been a smart person. I've always been a hard worker. Like I think I told you earlier back there. And I feel like that's important, right? Like the hardest worker is going to be the smartest person, right? And that's one thing that I've always felt about myself. Like, man, like I'm just going to continue to work and yeah, that mindset really allowed me to get to where CoreX is at today. And I feel like that's going to get me to where all the way until my time is done here. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. I think doing things perfectly once a week, as opposed to doing things not so great, but doing it every single day of the week,
Yeah.
will get you further than doing things perfectly once a week.
Yeah.
Like, and I say that because I've been the person who has stopped myself from doing things because they weren't like perfect. But then over time, I was like, if I just did a little bit every day, I would already have what I've been wanting to build.
Right.
But because I was just so in my head, though, it's not good enough, I'm not smart enough, blah, blah, blah. I never put it out.
Yeah.
And now all that time passed already. And I still don't have what I said that I was going to have because I didn't like put in the work, And I think it's such a simple like concept. But a lot of the times, like, we stay stuck on like, I'm not going to put out that video because it's not perfect yet. Or like, I don't want to say this because I don't have my thoughts collected yet. Sometimes I just talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just say things, and whatever comes out of my mouth, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Let me add more things so that it gets to the thought that I'm trying to convey. And sometimes things don't make sense, so I just continue talking until I feel like I got my point across. And I feel like a lot of the times I even stop myself from talking because I'm like, oh, I don't have the right words, or like I don't have the right question, or oh man, I lost my train of thought and I'm embarrassed to tell you that I lost my train of thought. And it's just like all of these human things that we want to hide
Yeah.
because we think that we have to be perfect to be like a business owner And like, I don't know who put that in my head and who put that in our heads, but I think a lot of being an entrepreneur, business owner is like unlearning all of these things that people in society tell you that you have to do. Because as an entrepreneur, it's like a different set of skill sets. It's like a different set of like of things that you have to do to make that business.
Yeah. Sounds
It's just such a different like dynamic, but something I wanna talk about as well. School.
yeah.
I grew up and like the only way to be someone is to go to school.
Um,
That's obviously not the truth. Did you go to school? Like, what do you think about that?
yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So I went all the way to my last day of school, but I didn't graduate. Um, I just I struggled really, really. I struggled in the. We're talking about hard. We talk about I guess back then I had the mentality like, oh, this is hard, right? Like this is hard. So for me, like, I don't really have a lot of regrets, but if there was one regret, it would go back to school and really trying to push myself to be better, a better scholar. But I just had a hard time focusing and paying attention and locking into the teachers and understanding what they were saying. It's not that I couldn't understand if I was paying. Like when else I did lock in and like, okay, I understand what you're saying. It was just like it didn't last long enough for me to, be able to
Your attention span.
yeah, my attention span was very short. Um, so yeah, I didn't graduate school. Definitely the biggest regret. I lived, my life wondering what would have happened if I did finish school. And
Like at that time, because you definitely still can.
yeah, I definitely still can. But again, like if I did, it'll just be something to have to do with my business. But I think like back then, it was just more about missing out on the college experience, right? I felt very, very envious and jealous of my friends. I was happy for them, but I'm like, yeah, like I can't believe I missed out on this experience, right? Like I visited my friend at school in San Diego. Like he invited me to go and check it out, and there was like this music festival there, and he invited me to his dorm. And through his dorm, you could look out and just I mean, obviously, this is just like a fun experience.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know college is not just that. You got to go to school. But again, like I wanted that whole experience.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I was there, I'm like, man, I can't believe it. And then I actually was with him while he was going to school. Like I actually spent a few days there, and I'm like, and I remember just walking alone on campus, like, let me just go ahead and see what it feels like, right? And everyone like looking at me like, oh, you go to the school, but I didn't. And I remember feeling so sad. I'm like, man, like this really sucks. Like I didn't, push myself enough to be able to experience this. And every day, not every day, but as I got older, I'm like, man, that's one thing I really wish I would have done, right? I went to go visit UCLA the other day, and I'm like, and I see them, I'm like, really wish I would have just had this, but school just wasn't for me, and that just goes back to where like, all right, well, school's not for me. How am I going to, right? I don't have this. I don't have a diploma. Like, what am I going to do, right? And that's kind of where, hey, like, you could be an entrepreneur. You could start a business without a diploma, right? And that's kind of how that became, my thing, I guess. Just like it wasn't me applying for positions where, oh, I can't be a police officer and I have a diploma. I can't be, because like I got to figure this out. Like that's my big thing. Like there was no plan B for me because like this doesn't work out. Like, well, what am I going to do? I don't have a diploma. I don't have this. Like I don't want to work this kind of job. Nothing against it, but what am I going to do? So that was that.
I think that's a tough that's it's a tough topic to hit. I think education, because my mentality of education has been formed by my parents and like my society and what they told me that what being successful looked like.
Yeah.
And like I followed that path just like yourself. It was hard for me to pay attention in school. It was hard for me to like want to like be at the places that I didn't want to be in, but I had to. Like, for example, when you go to community college, you have to retake math, science, history. Like, you have to retake all these courses that you don't have to take until you get to the courses that you actually do want to take for your actual like degrees. So there's a lot of like fluff that you have to go through. And for people like you and myself, that's really hard because we want to get to what we actually care about and what we want to do. So I also really struggled in school. I graduated, I think, with like a 2.6. Like I struggled. I graduated, but I definitely struggled very much. Um, but unlike you, like I had it in my head and in my parents that I had to go to school.
Yeah.
Because I also came here when I was 10 years old from El Salvador. I'm to this day a DACA kid. I'm undocumented. I'm not fully like legal. So to me, like the only thing that I needed to do was like go to school.
Yeah.
But I felt very discouraged because it was really hard for me to pay attention. It's really easy to pay attention when I care about something. And it's really, really, really hard. Like I can't force myself to pay attention when I don't care about things. And it's like, I don't know what I'm gonna care about. It's just like a feeling. It's just like a vibe for me. So I struggled, and I don't know if you had this experience, but I didn't have the experience where my teachers like kind of changed the way that they taught. They just taught uniformly, like in one specific way, but everyone learns differently. There's no one uniform way that people learn or that people understand. So add a boring material to a boring teacher or like a boring lesson, like in my brain, like you lost me. Like at this point, I'm fidgeting, like I can't pay attention, like I'm being a little rowdy now, like I'm talking to people. So in my report cards, talks too much.
So so when I, at a young age, I like I said, I struggled in first grade, second grade. I think I only had like one good year. Oh, my whole school was just third grade. Where I got all these awards. I have no idea how. I think I promised my mom, like, I think my mom would like come to me crying, like, Mihal, I want you to do good in school, and can you please? Oh, okay, mom, I promise I'll do good. And I think when I did good that year, for some reason, I was like all the validation I need. And but my mom, I remember like I did have a hard time paying attention, focusing. I was always fidgety, and according to my mom, she did take me to go and just say like, hey, is something wrong with my kid? And the doctors back then, it was like, no, this is normal. That's fine, right? As is it good?
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. By the way, this is an agua from Valentina's Mobile Cafe. They are sponsoring us, our podcast.
Okay.
They have a Valentina's Mobile Cafe. They also have a Save Our Treats, which are pupusas, Salvadorian cuisine in Whittier, also in Santa Ana. The owner, his name is Ronald. We interviewed him as well. He's really amazing. So this is his business.
Good.
It's bomb.
Yeah. It is.
He's a great guy themselves. They have a great product just like you.
Okay.
So it's great that we get to enjoy this today.
Yeah.
But sorry, continue.
Yeah. So I've always felt that's how I understood what it was. ADHD, right? That's kind of what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And
basically.
And I think I definitely needed a little bit more help, just because I just couldn't focus. I was always focused on, like I said, the things that I was good at or that interested me, right? And for me, those things came after school. I was never in school. Or it was like recess and lunch, right? To go and shoot a basketball, right? Like those are like, I just can't wait, right?
Yeah.
And when I was in the classroom, I just couldn't focus. I couldn't focus, and I wanted to, right? Even when I took the homework home, it's like, and learning how to write, and I couldn't learn how to write. I remember like, man, my writing's still bad to this day. I remember I would get so frustrated at trying to write out a word where I'm like, like forget this, and I just get so mad, and again, like I just felt like I needed some kind of guidance back then, and I never got it. Like now, somehow, some way, I guess my father wanted me to be, really good at. He wanted me. My dad really, really tried his best to live his life through me. Like he wanted to, whatever his missed experiences were, he wanted to live through it. Not just me, his kids, like through all of his kids. And I think he realized I needed extra help. But it wasn't, but he went ahead and he put me into a private school. Now, private school era, it was 2 years. sixth or seventh grade.
Private school.
Private, right? Yeah, it's an era for me for sure. I took that for granted because he didn't have a lot of money. My parents didn't make a lot of money, my mom and dad. And we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment where I shared, a 1-bedroom with, my brother and sister, right? And somehow, some way, he was trying his best to put me into this school because I think he felt like I needed it. Both of my parents did. But as a kid, you're not really worried about money, right? Like you're not thinking about how much money your parents made.
You don't even know what
Right?
money
You
is.
don't even, right? But
Yeah.
until I got older, I realized like, man, like he struggled to make that payment. It was a struggle for him to make that tuition payment. For my parents, it was and I just, looking back, I'm like, you spend money now and you realize like, damn, like, what did I waste that money for? It was just, I realized that I wasted 2 years of my parents' hard-earned money because I went in there and I think I just didn't care. It was just too much for me to transition to. It's like a culture shock, right?
Yeah.
For me, at least, because I went to 5 years of public school, and I go into here, and it's like, okay, you got uniform, you have a haircut policy, you have this, you have that, and all this, and for me, it was just like I said, like I already have like this. I'm already like this kid who can understand things, and I'm like in the school where it's like, damn, this is even harder for me, right? But I wish I could pay my dad that money back. I probably should, because I remember how much of a struggle it was for me.
Yeah.
But I did need more one-on-one, or because the reason why I know that now is because of my daughter. My daughter is a lot like me. And luckily, since I know what I went through, I'm able to go ahead and give her those resources that I feel like she needs.
Yeah.
So my daughter gets a lot of one-on-one. She wasn't Kumon. She does the extra tutoring, right? I make sure that that she does her best to try to understand it, and the schools nowadays have lots of more resources as well. They just like, oh, this kid's just not doing good in school. It's just like, that's what it was like right then. Like, hey, you got to figure this out. But nowadays, if you're not doing it in school, like teachers actually like, okay, hey, you need to have a parent-teacher conference that often to see what's going on with your kid and make sure all that. So
yeah.
So definitely different than when I was in school. But yeah, I wish I could have gone back, and with the resources that I know now, or at least what I know about myself now, I could go back. I'll definitely acclimate myself a little bit more to that.
I think I'm a huge fan that things happen how they need to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like you were talking about the butterfly effect, like those things didn't happen to you, would you be David from Corex like right now?
So I might be a better David. I might be a different David. I don't know. I might not know what the hell to do in my life if I went to school. A lot of people have that problem, right? You go to school and you major in this and you realize you don't like it. And you're like, oh, damn, now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Right? Who knows? But I do wish I could have at least had that experience of knowing like, all right, well, going through the college life and just being able to prove myself that way is, right? Like proving myself like in that criteria. I've never been good at it. To at least know like, okay, you could be good at it.
You could be. It just had a teacher, was like outstanding, like a leader, a leader, not just someone that looks at you, that kid's not good. I'm going to do something about that kid because I know he could be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you for sharing that. I know it could be a very sensitive.
It is touching. I hear that graduation song. I hear that graduation song. It does something to me every single time. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna let a tear out right now. Actually, my stepdaughter's graduating in 2 weeks. I'm actually nervous to this. I'm like, oh, it's gonna do something to me for sure. I am. Oh, I am. I took her to actually go visit UCLA, and like I want her to push herself to all that. So she's just
When you do a master's, you get to HUD.
All that, right?
Like the students.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But that's good. And thank you for sharing that, because I think we're talking about something that's really real, but also maybe like taboo.
Yeah.
Like my dad is a construction worker. He's been doing construction for like 20 plus years, like ever since he came to this country, and he started sweeping the floor of like a market, and then he became like roofing, but he didn't have luck there. So then he started working in like construction. And he talks about a lot of the ways that people belittled him, not just the language, but also like him being Salvadoran. And a lot of the time it was a lot of like Guatemalans or just Mexicans, like just same people within your own people, like kind of hate you or have like issues with you. And then you also have like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, like I can't do this. Or we have mental health issues, or we have like emotional. It's like we're all carrying something, but we're all trying to surpass that to create what we want to create. For you, it's your gym. For me, it's like growing my brand and my podcast, and me and like my event and sales coordinating. And for other people, it's like the language barrier, because you could be right in Spanish, but if you don't know the terms in English, you can't explain it properly, and people will think that you don't have the knowledge. So like there's just so many things that are so real and so true. But you see the entrepreneurs, Jay Shetty or Gary Vee, and you probably don't think that they struggle, and you probably don't think that they have like mental disabilities, but I bet you they're probably like way weirder than we are, because you have to be a certain kind of weird to keep going through these like situations and keep enduring them, like these, to keep like putting like your goal together. So I mean, yeah, like it's just, I'm happy that we're talking about this openly and candidly, because I don't think it's something that a lot of people like to say, like, dude, without education you can get super far. Like, you can get far with it, you can get far without it. It's just really about what it is that you want for yourself, what you want to do, how you want to do it, and don't be ashamed, and don't think you're not smart. Or if you don't think you're smart, just keep working hard, like you'll get there. So
that was definitely my mentality, right? Or I think that's the mentality I have today. If I had to talk to the younger generation, like, yo, like school's not going to be for everybody, but it's just not for you. You're going to have to come up with an idea of what it is that you want to do, where you're going to be able to make a lot of money is your goal. Well, then what are you going to do, right? These days, education is kind of getting pushed on the back end for some reason. I'm all for education, right? It's like for my kids, for the younger, like, they go to school, right? Not everyone's meant to be a business owner, right? Just because you see it so much these days, just doesn't mean that it's easy for you to do, right? I'm thinking a lot of these kids that are in high school, like, oh, I'm just going to think that the number one major right now is business, right? Like, right? It's like number one.
Entrepreneurship
business and all that, right?
Building.
But it isn't easy, all right? So again, it's like for all those, the younger generation, if this is your path, this is what you want to do, and school is not going to be for you, well, you better get ready to work hard, right? And you better get ready for some hard times, and you better get ready to handle those challenges that are going to come your way. And you're not going to have education as a plan B, right? Some kind of credentials to have. Well, you better make sure plan A works. that was me for sure.
I think if I could summarize like this chat that we're having, this conversation, it's like there's really no one mode or one way to reach your success or to reach like your dreams. I think it's important to know who you are, to know your struggles, to be honest with yourself, and be like, okay, what am I honestly willing to endure? Like, what am I honestly willing to like overcome? Like, I know I have an issue with my head and with my attention span. Like, am I willing to like overcome that and get help? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Honestly, though, those you don't really think about those things. It's not like you really ask yourself, like, like when you start your business, like, okay, what am I willing? It's just more about where am I trying to get and how am I going to get after? How am I going to do it? Right? I don't think I've ever asked my question, like, okay, how much can I handle or how much can I take? Like maybe I'm not a calculated person. Some people are. I was never a calculated person. I was more about, like I said earlier, it's just, I'm just going to try to see if it works. And if it doesn't work, then I'm just going to go ahead and see what else works from there.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know why. I've always felt like I worked a lot better when I do feel my mind going to that level of pressure. Like, I am like putting myself through this.
Like procrastination. Talk about that. Your butt a little.
Yeah. It's like I always wait till the last minute to go ahead and like, all right. I work better when my back's against the wall versus like when everything is going good. Like, why don't I work like this when everything is going good? Yeah, I always work better when my back's against the wall. And I've always been like that, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is the key to my success or not. I work well under pressure, but that's definitely, how I've always been.
So the brand of CoreX, you're a gym. Let's talk about more of that. Like, what does a membership look like? You're located in Downey, and you're taking new people, new clients, new customers.
Yeah, so we do group training and personal training.
Okay.
We do strength and conditioning classes. We also do Pilates now.
Oh.
Yeah, obviously it's a really big thing.
For the girls.
For everybody, anybody who wants to do it. Yeah, and the Pilates program, we actually just included it as not a free addition, like a additional service. It was just more, if you buy a membership with us, you're able to do both of them. You're able to do strength and conditioning and Pilates. You don't have to go to a different Pilates studio to do Pilates. You can just get one membership and do everything here. Except we don't offer a lot of Pilates classes. We're more of a strength and conditioning program for sure. And we have classes that start from 5 a.m. all the way down to 7 p.m., right? About 5 in the morning, 4 in the evening. And then in the same facility where we're at, we also do personal training. So we have like 2 studios. One is for group training, and then the other one is for personal training. So while there's classes going on, I have trainers training their clients in the other studio. They kind of go back and forth. It's like, I'll be teaching a class at 5. Class is over, I'll go train my client at 6, go teach a class again at 7, and that's kind of like the structure of how we do things there.
If people were looking to work out but they're like, they don't like the gym setting.
Yeah.
They have like that, like, I'm scared to go to the gym. Like, the gym is a scary place.
Oh yeah.
Very intimate.
1,000%.
How do, I can't find the right words, but how do you make people like feel comfortable? Like, how do you approach that?
That's like the key, right? Is that everyone, that's the number one reason to a person's discouragement is when they go to the gym and they don't feel like, what am I doing here? And this and that. So I tried my best to make sure that CoreX is an uplifting environment, right? The thing about CoreX or doing any type of fitness program where it's a class, whether it's at my facility or it's somewhere else, it's you don't have to think too much. You just got to go in there and just listen to the instructor, enjoy the music, right? I try to have like a dark setting so you don't feel like the spotlight is going to be on you. And whenever it's somebody new, I always try my best to give them a little bit more extra attention until they feel like, because it could be overwhelming.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Especially if they don't know what they're doing and all that. So I try my best to always give them, I'm not going to say like the most attention, but if I do feel like, okay, it's their first time, they're struggling a little bit, this and that. And you just got to make them feel welcome, right? Everyone's going to have a different personality. You have to be able to connect to their personalities and vibe with them and make sure that at the end, by the time they do leave, that all you can do is just hope that you gave them the best customer service that you possibly can to want them to sign up to your gym, right? Yeah. And if they didn't, they have to figure out what you did wrong. What did you do wrong to not allow that person to sign up, right? How could you have made that person's experience a little bit more welcoming? Did you, were you a little bit standoffish? Could you bring you a little bit too much, right? And that's kind of, that's a business. That's anyway, right? You got to learn from whether they sign up or whether they don't sign up.
Yeah.
How can you learn from all these experiences? So, but I do, back to your question at the beginning. Yeah, I try to make it at least timid as possible, because it is, especially for those who've never worked out, right? Who've never been into the gym before. Like that's always going to be a challenge for those people's mindsets. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Do I look funny? Do I look weird? Right? Like, oh, I don't want to press this weight because I don't know if I can do it.
Or even I read the directions on the machine, but I still don't understand
all
it.
of that, right? So you just gotta try your best just to make sure that they understand what they're doing and understand that, hey, like, it's not meant to be easy.
No.
Yeah, it's not meant to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's probably going to be, 6 months of you continuing to do this consistently where you start to feel like, okay, like, yeah, like, now I get it, right? But you can't give up on.
Yeah, you really can't give up on it, because that will show who you are as well. Like, what kind of leader are you?
Yeah.
People walk into your gym and
Yeah.
you give up on them, and
All that.
you know,
Yep.
yeah. I understand your anniversary is coming up.
Yes, 12 years.
12 years of
Yeah.
business.
Well, actually,
Are you counting the end?
I'm not counting the Anywhere Fitness days, but we count 12 years of when we started Corex. But
Corex.
technically, it's what 16 years. 16 years of being on my own path of entrepreneurship or business owner.
That's amazing.
Oh, you
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
12 years and 16 years, and we want to
Yeah.
the other.
Yes. Yes.
Are you doing anything special for?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have
You're having a party?
it's like a series of classes,
Okay.
right? And everyone in attendance are going to receive gift box. You know, trying to get the community involved. A lot of the local small businesses in Downey are going to provide like a flyer of giving this out for free. Come check out our business, stuff like that.
Oh, when is this taking place?
This is next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Yes. This Saturday coming up. This Saturday coming up. On
What day is that?
22nd, 23rd.
The 22nd.
Yes.
The 22nd.
Yes.
And
At my gym. Yeah.
what can you say the address? Where can we find you?
Yeah, we're at 10242 Lakewood.
10242 Lakewood Boulevard.
Yes.
That's where you can find Corex Business, your 12th anniversary celebration.
Yes.
They'll be having the community, your
DJ agency.
favorite DJ agency providing the tune.
Yes.
We'll have the community. You're doing from 1 to 1. What time to what time?
7 a.m. to 12.
From 7 a.m.
Yes. Lots of vendors are going to be there. Able to support small businesses, you know, all that. So, yeah, we're very excited. Very excited. This is the first time we're doing something like this. Yeah.
Now after your
23rd, by the way. Oh, 20.
The 23rd.
Yes.
The 23rd from 7 in the morning to about 12 p.m.
Yes.
Corex will be having their anniversary celebration. So come by, stop by, get to know David a little more. We got to know you so much today.
So a lot more, right? Right. Yeah.
I know people will definitely, by just watching this, will feel comfortable and get a really good idea of who you are, which I'm sure will translate to Corex, because Corex is you. So if this is who you are,
1,000%.
I'm sure the gym is going to translate that comfortability and the niceness, you know, because it's hard, like losing weight. You go to the doctor and they're like, oh, you're fat, you need to lose weight. Yeah. And then you go to the gym and you're like, oh, I'm fat, I need to lose weight. Yeah. And then you go in with that mentality and then you're like, people are looking at you and like that's not what that
you just got to connect to one person to help you. Just one person, one business, one gym that's going to be able to help you. It could be even it doesn't have to be a trainer. It could just be someone. It could be a friend that you know that can help you out through this journey. But when it comes to fitness, you have to find a place that you like being at. Yeah. That's number one. So if it's not Corex, no hard feelings. But you have to find a place that you like being at, right? Yeah. And you have to like the people there, and you know, and then once you kind of feel like, okay, I like this place, then you're like, okay, how can I? You have to start with baby steps. Everything is baby steps. You can't expect to go from kindergarten to 12th grade like this, right? Everything's going to be baby steps. So in the beginning, you have to understand, like, okay, what is it that I'm trying to do? How do I do it? And then you got to put a plan together, right? And if it's, you know, with the trainer, or if it's with a program that you want to follow, that is probably the best advice I can give you, right? But not everybody has that privilege of being able to afford that, you know? So you have to just figure out what it is that's going to work for you. Classes is always a good step because it just, you don't got to think so much. All you got to do is just show it, you know, show it and follow, or no, just listen to the instructor and tell them what you're doing. And that's going to take your you know, your that thinking process away from that experience. Like, okay, and then once you're done with the workout, you forget about how hard it was to actually get there, right? Like, getting to the gym is the hardest thing for someone who doesn't want to work out. But once you're there, you're like 10 minutes in, you're like, okay, I forgot how hard it was to actually show up to this place. But then the next part is like, okay, now what am I doing here? And then that's where it becomes discouraging. But then when you figure that part out, then it becomes, okay, I figured that part out. You just got to continue figuring these out.
They always say that. Just getting there is the hardest part. It really is. Getting to school, getting to class.
Getting to there. But once you get there,
getting there is literally.
You do realize how you know, I got it. I'm already here now. Let's just try to figure this out. All right. So, yeah.
Well, David, thank you. I really appreciated everything you've said. I think we shed light on some traditional things that we debunked.
Yep.
In regards to business, leaders, teaching, like collaborating. We do have a couple of minutes left within our interview. And the last thing I wanted to ask you is the following. If you could give someone a gift basket, like you're passing down your torch and you're giving someone a gift basket, and in the gift basket, there's 5 qualities.
Ooh, 5.
5 of them.
Wow.
That will help them reach their goals, will help them overcome 5 qualities that you think will help them get to surpass their journeys. What would those 5 be?
Okay, 5. Man, I think 3 is a little easier for you. 5.
If you think
Let's try 5. Let's try 5.
That's fine.
Number 1, hard work. You have to be a hard worker.
What does that mean?
Hard worker means is that if you're not doing it, someone else is doing it. Okay. If you wake up in the morning, you want to go ahead and press snooze, there's someone else that's not going to be pressing snooze that's going to be ahead of you.
They woke up earlier.
Right? They woke up earlier than you do. Okay. If you have nothing and you're still building your business and you're tired at 6, right? And you know you got to keep working, that's not an option. Okay. You got to go ahead and continue to push through that field. Hard work. Okay. Number 2 is resilience. Resilience. When something bad happens, what are you going to do about it? All right? Something bad happens. Are you going to figure it out? Are you going to get discouraged? Are you going to crumble in a ball and just give up? Right? Or are you going to go ahead and tell yourself like, okay, I can figure this out. If you thought you had a sale and it flopped, are you going to take that as a learning experience, or are you going to go ahead and be like, oh, I can't do this? So resilience, right? Being able to push yourself through those moments of adversity. Number 3 is being able to consume knowledge. Okay, so you have to be able to consume as much knowledge as possible.
I like that.
Yeah, you don't know everything.
You
You don't know everything.
don't know much.
Yeah, to be honest, you don't know much, right? Especially someone like me, right? Right? Like I didn't graduate high school, say, hey, like, I'm gonna put myself in this position if I'm gonna own a business. Like, you have to be able to consume as much knowledge as possible. So you got to put yourself in that. You have to have a circle of people that's going to be able to help you, with giving you advice. And you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations to meet new people that is at that point, in that position where you want to be at, and pick their brains and learn from them and all of that. So you have to be able to consume lots of knowledge.
Yeah.
Number 4 is, passion. Maybe passion should be actually, number 1, right? But you have to love what you're doing. You have to really love what you're doing. You have to be able to show up to your place of work, to your business, and love it.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't, that's going to really take away from you wanting to work hard, to make your business successful, is having lots of passion. Oh man, number 5, let's see, is having a great team around you. Being able to have a great team around. Again, you are not going to be able to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
You cannot do it by yourself. And you have to have a good team around you that's going to be able to do the things that you can't. I'm a very introverted person. Like, even being here, it's like, it's not hard, but it's like, this isn't, I don't talk a lot, to be honest. Like, I'm very like, if you go to my work, like, oh, David's kind of serious. No, I'm really not. So you actually start talking. Yeah. Like, but once you actually start talking to me, and you like, I actually could crack a joke here and there. I'm not that serious, but you have to be able to have that team that's going to be able to do things that you can't do, and you have to be able to trust them.
Yeah.
Right. The other day I was in a position where someone came in and they were asking for, they wanted to know something. They wanted to get information about the gym. And one of my trainers stepped up and went to them, and I'm like, okay, let me just kind of sit back and let that trainer do it. All right. But having a good team around you, having a really good team around you that believes in your product, that believes in what you're trying to do, and that is going to help you get to where, you want your business to get to. So yeah, those are the 5 things. Definitely. I hope I nailed it. Yeah.
I'm sure you have more in you.
Probably.
Those are really, really great. I think that last one that you said really hit something for me, because I'm a huge believer that you need every kind of person. Like, not everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. Not everybody needs to be a 9-to-5. Like, every type is needed. We as leaders just need to find, okay, where am I going to accommodate this to best fit my goal, or best fit my, like, business vision. But thank you. Those are, I love them. Honestly, all five I think were great.
I hope so. Yeah. So, I wonder if I can remember what I just said.
We'll watch back. Watch back. But thank you,
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you for sharing
Sure.
with us, with me, with everybody. I really hope that whoever is watching, listening, was able to take away a lot of holistic things from David.
Yeah.
At least for me, I really admire your ability to be like, just keep doing it. I'm not smart.
Yeah.
I'm a hard worker, which, by the way, I actually do think you're really smart.
Yeah,
but I kind of what you're saying though, what you mean by that.
Just processing.
And it's like you just gotta keep working. Like for me, being mediocre is better than doing nothing at all. To be honest. So if I want to do a little bit every day instead of doing a lot in one day, like that's what I'm gonna do because that's what's gonna work best. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Everybody, CarX, David, he's located
Check it out.
in Downey, Santa Fe, Pico, Whittier. If you're in that area, you're pretty close to him. Again, the anniversary will happen this upcoming Saturday,
7 to 12.
3rd, from 7 in the morning till about 12. And don't forget, if you're around the area, stop by, get your agua from Valentina's Molo Cafe or Seaboard Treats. This was bomb, right? I got the strawberry one. I think that's cucumber.
Cucumber.
It's really
Cucumber. Yeah.
But thanks so much. This has been the Brand Talk. This is David from Correct. I'm
Thank you.
Tina, and we shall see you next year.
Thank you.
Bye.